How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. Tlyard sells this soft closing frunk kit for the Model 3 and Model Y. It works like this. You just let your frunk close down on it and it'll suck down on its own. Normally you have to push it really hard to the point where the front hood looks like it's bending. With this, all you have to do is just let it sit on top and it closes itself. Let's see what happens if you put a fake finger in here. That's cool. It kind of detects something and it bounces back. Let me show you guys what comes in the box and how to install it. A QC card, one lone bolt, and this motor assembly thing. If you push this latch, it engages this micro switch. There's a wire that pulls on this latch. There are two wires for the micro switch. All of this leads to this assembly here. There's power and there's ground. There's an inline 10 amp fuse. The power goes into this motor assembly. The switch goes into this motor assembly. And everything else appears to be contained within this assembly. Typically, if you want to close this, you have to press with both hands, bending the metal a bit in order to shut this thing. It's a pretty straightforward installation, except we have to remove this entire liner, including this piece over here. Pull this grommet off first. I 3D printed these grocery hooks, so I gotta remove these. This is a 10mm socket. Remove the other one. I have this liner we gotta remove. There's this towing ring, remove this. There's two more bolts here. Those are 10mm as well. This top piece is just held on by clips. You just give it a nice tug and it all pops out. From here, there's one more bolt. Remove the air intake funnel. On this piece, put your fingers in there and give it a nice tug. Remove this connector to remove the light and switch. There's also two bolts holding the liner in. Open those. For the rest of the liner, I would just wiggle it a little bit to pull it off the clips. Let's tug on that. It all comes right off, just like that. To make sure we can return it to the same spot, I'm gonna put a circle here, mark it on the right, mark it on the bottom. I'm gonna mark it underneath here as well, just in case. Now we can remove these bolts. Take this out. This notch here, that goes into that hole, and this hook goes right underneath that spring. And just put it back on and bolt it back on into the same position. Use those markings before to make sure it goes back in the same position. Tighten the bolts. There's a convenient bolt hole here. That's where this motor should bolt to with just one bolt. And this is conveniently also a 10mm, so we can just tighten it with the same tool. The cable comes over here. If I connect it to the battery and leave this cable down on the left, the ground plug will conveniently connect to this bolt. However, we do have a small length of cable that's extra, and we can clip it to this extra clip here. First, let me connect the ground, slip it underneath this bolt, and I'm gonna adjust this cable just onto this clip here. And double back it a few times, 1, 2, and it can just go down there on its own like that. For the positive cable, I'm gonna dress it right here around this other cable and lead this up to the battery. I'm not gonna connect it yet. Remove the silicone sleeve, unscrew it a little bit, attach this terminal in there and screw it back. Put the silicone sleeve back on. We're ready to go. To test it, I'm just gonna put the lid on, close it. Oh, wow. Open up. It doesn't close if you just lightly put it on. It needs to go into the first hook right there. And it sucks it in. It's completely flat. There's no misalignment or anything. It does appear to pop out very strongly right now. I think because we don't have all the molding and stuff put back in yet. So let's put that back in and try it again. This piece back on. Make sure you fish that little cable back out. That's the only cable that needs to come back. Push it in everywhere. Make sure all the clips are attached. Attach this button/light back in. Attach the two screws. Clip this back on. Put this eye hook back in. This screw in here. This one in here. Put the grocery hook back on. The other one. Sometimes I find the screwdriver to work pretty fast. And don't forget this one. This lone bolt here. Put this funnel thing back on. 1, 2, 3, 4. The liner. And finally the cover. And also this rubber seal back in. There we go, all good. It works a lot better when all the moldings and seals are put in. It doesn't pop out violently. Just like that. If you guys are interested in this upgrade after watching this, you should be able to do it within about 20 minutes or so. Check out my affiliate link down in the video description below. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.